Three, two, one. Actually, it started already. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Forsage. Welcome to 40 Days to Financial Freedom with Forsage, or 40 Days Out of Financial Bondage. My name is William in North America, Eastern Standard Time. We do this webinar every day, but right now we are recording this webinar because we want to introduce you, if you don't already know, about to the greatest platform on the Ethereum blockchain. This is really the best decentralized finance platform you can find, the best smart contract platform you can find, and the numbers don't lie. Over 746,000 participants as of the beginning of February of this year. So basically, it's going to be 6 months by the end of this month. 10,000 plus in the last 24 hours. Almost $6 million US was exchanged amongst participants. Decentralized, peer-to-peer, and you can see here zero risk factors, instant peer-to-peer payments, transparency and anonymity, immutability, it's non-hierarchical, transactional surety, and ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is really the best platform. You can see numbers here. Now, here's an analogy, a metaphor. We call this 40 Days to Financial Freedom because my good friend Mark and myself, we were talking one day and we said, why don't we do a webinar with a biblical theme, which is 40 days to financial freedom, or 40 days out of financial bondage? And we kind of we kind of based this out of the story of Israel coming out of Egypt. So, they came out of Egypt and they ended up doing 40 years in the wilderness when it could have been 40 days. Why? Because there were 12 spies sent to the promised land. And so I'm giving you a metaphor, like an analogy. 12 spies sent to the promised land. 10 of them came back with a bad report, basically trying to say that these are giants. We look like grasshoppers in front of these giants. While two of them, Joshua and Caleb, or Caleb and Joshua, which is Mark and myself, we are here to tell you that, yes, these are giants. And by the way, as much as a metaphor and an analogy, these are not Canaanites. These are not people we're going to slay or slew. These are people that are like you and me. And take, for example, this ID number 8679. I'm sure this person, when 2020 started, especially when the lockdown and the pandemic started, I don't think they thought they would have, by the middle of the year, by mid-year, they would have already have received over $1 million in ETH or Ether through Forsage. What about this member, 8648? Over 600,000 US dollars in Forsage. What about this member, 64? What about this member, 191420? So basically, ladies and gentlemen, these are giants. Yes, they are giants, and we look like grasshoppers in front of them, but they're not Canaanites. We're not going to slay them. We want to be like them, and we're going to show you how to be like them. So that's the purpose of this webinar. Forsage is a system that comprises two systems in one. There's Forsage X3 and Forsage X4. I'm going to pull up on the screen a PDF document that'll be easier to share, but I want to just show the website first and foremost, forsage.io, and you can learn so much by yourself. There's so much questions and answers here that you can definitely click on and learn. Not going to click on any of them because I want to encourage you to do your due diligence and learn and educate yourself. Still, my job, my duty right now is to show you once and for all how you can easily, I mean, I say easily, and I won't stop saying it, easily make things, do things you didn't think was possible with Forsage. So let's look at Forsage, the first ever decentralized matrix project, or the first decentralized crowdfunding project. That's what I would call it. Decentralization, what does it really mean? It means that no one controls this project. That's the great thing about the blockchain, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any decentralized blockchain, I must say, because you could have a centralized blockchain. So rest assured that Forsage is on the Ethereum blockchain, and it is decentralized, and it's based on a smart contract. Really what Forsage is a smart contract. It's not like, if you've done quote unquote home-based business in the past, network marketing, whatever you call it, MLM, most of what you did was centralized, meaning that there was a central authority or owner, administrator, somebody that was able That doesn't mean they did it, but they have the capability of manipulating the system. In Forsage, it's not possible because of the smart contract. I strongly encourage you to find out what a smart contract is. I'll show you some things towards the end of this webinar, but it's simple. A smart contract is an algorithm or a set of code inside the Ethereum blockchain, cryptocurrency, inside the Ethereum blockchain that basically does stringent activities, meaning that if you say it must do A to B and C, it will do A to B and C. It will never do A to C or B to C without doing A to B to C. That's just an example. And the calculations are provided by millions of computers around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, before being introduced to this, I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think that you could be part of a system that you could start with only 0.05 Ether and then, be part of two great systems. I would call this a 1x3 and a 2x2. This is the X3, this is the X4. For those who know that kind of terminology, you understand what I'm saying. For as small as 0.05 ETH, Ether, you can start a system. No, a lot of us didn't even know this was possible. And so that's the positivity with 2020 in the midst of all the quote unquote new normal. I just want to say something. This has nothing to do with Forsage. If it's new, it's not normal. If it's normal, it's not new. So new normal is an oxymoron. So don't get fooled by all this new narrative they're trying to send to you. But at the same time, protect yourself, be careful, watch yourself, watch your family, but don't stop living life. And for sure, don't stop looking for an opportunity. But you know what? Today, you don't have to look for any more quote unquote opportunities. I'm not stopping you for doing anything else, but I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the promised land. And the X3 and the X4 of Forsage will blow your mind away. And there's 12 levels of what they call slots within both the X3 and the X4 that will blow your mind away because it doubles up every level. So here's how it starts. It's very simple. Here it's easy to see. Once you start with a small of 0.05 ETH or Ether, again, you don't have to start with just that, but this is the minimum at which you could start. Both the level 1 or what they call slot 1 of the X3 and the slot 1 of the X4 are open. You can see your 0.05 is split in two. 0.025 is puts you in the X3 and 0.025 puts you in the X4. And when you join, you basically follow the person who invited you. There's a term for these kind of system. If you've never heard that term, it's called a follow me forward system. You follow the person who invited you. The person who invited you is not better than you. They're not, they're not above you or quote unquote, they're not your boss. They are just there before you. It's first come, first serve. You're working as a team, and you can still also receive way more than the person who invited you. So don't think that whoever's invited you or whoever invited them and so on, there's a certain quote unquote hierarchy of an invitation, but no one is better than another. Even the first quote unquote position in Forsage, you could still be better than that position. I can tell you that I think ID number 8679 might have received more ETH than ID number 1. We'll see this towards the end, but check it out. The X3, more detail. The X3 has 3 positions. 1, 2, 3, and it starts over. So here's the great thing. 1 and 2 go directly to your Ethereum wallet because it's Ethereum wallet. When we say that's participants, the participants are in the form of an Ethereum wallet. And when you think about it, maybe one participant can have more than one wallet. So when we say participant, we talk about wallet. So your wallet will receive up to 3 donations or transfers, but 2 of them go directly to your wallet, while the third one brings you back. That's what they call reinvest. I call it reentry. So there's a reentry, automated reentry mechanism in the system. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we've never seen this before. X4, the X4 is also, there's a reentry or reinvest aspect, but it's a little bit different. As you can see, the X3 is only 3 positions directly that follows you. What would people say directly under you? I say that follows you. And the X4 is 6 positions that follows you. The first 2 that follow you, their transfer don't go to you. Their transfers go directly to the person that you're following, in this example. You may be following your sponsor or the person who invited you, or you may be following somebody else in the X4. Why am I saying that? You see, that's you here. But let's put you here. Let's say that you're number 3. So if you're number 3, number 1 could be your sponsor, or your sponsor could be here, because you could be any of these numbers in your sponsor X4. So if you're number 3, your sponsor is here, there's a person between you and your sponsor. That means the first 2 donations, right, that follow you, those 2 here, if that's you, would go to this person here. But if you are number 1 or number 2, right after your sponsor, and your sponsor, he or she's cycle at that time, then the first 2 that follow you would go to your sponsor. So I want you to understand this, because this system is like a Rubik's Cube. It rearranges itself with first come, first serve. So I'll give you another example. Let's say it's you here, and then there's another person here. That's your sponsor. You invite 2 people or more, and they do the same. So you don't see those 4 positions under those 2, but those 4 positions get completed. Guess what happens right after? For those who understand a matrix, because that person invited you, if you complete a matrix, or when you complete a matrix, you will be repositioned in the next available position of your sponsor. It could be number 4, or it could be number 6. And why do we see number 4 and 6 here? It's kind of weird. Well, let me break it down to you. If you were to invite 6 people in one shot, it would be positioned like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like the way it's positioned, because it enables you to evenly help or distribute the system. I would say the system evenly distributes people in your X4, in your matrix. Let me take a sip of water. Very passionate about this presentation, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to be doing a good job, because this will be posted on YouTube, and I don't want it to be too long, and there won't be no Q&A, so that's why it will be posted on YouTube. So I spoke about the X3 and the X4. Ladies and gentlemen, Forsage, that's really what it's about, the X3 and the X4. But it's not just that. There's the reinvest that I just spoke about. The reinvest is that red circle you see here. In the X3, 1, 2, 3 brings you back. So 2 goes to your wallet, 3 brings you back. So we strongly advise you, strongly advise you to share Forsage with at least 3 people. So at least in the X3, bam, bam, bam. You could share with more than 3 people. And if, or you could start with 1 person, you don't have to have 3 in one shot. Don't pressure yourself, but preferably start with 3 if you can with 1 shot. If not, start with a first person today, maybe a second person tomorrow, maybe a third person the following day, and then maybe a 4th person. Now, here's another example. Let's say you invited 6 people in 1 shot. And don't forget, everybody starts on the X3 and the X4, but I'm only talking about the X3 right now. The 6 people in 1 shot, your first 3, bam, bam, 3, boom. You cycle, and so that 2 goes to your wallet, and your next 3 participants, 4, 5, and 6 that you invite, would basically help you complete another X3, with 4 being here, 5 being here, and 6 would make you come back again. Here's the great thing. Your 6 people that you invite, they are also doing the same thing. So when they complete their X3, they come back with you. They could come back as number 1, or they could come back as number 2 if number 1 is already occupied, or they could come back as number 3 if 1 and 2 is occupied. And the great thing is, if they come back as number 3, they enable you to come back as a reinvest for you to receive again with your sponsor. Now, in the X4 is different, but we'll use the same example as inviting 3. Now, if you invite 3, your 3 here, boom, but in the X4 is 1, 2, 3. What it does, and I like this, is that for your number 1 position, whoever occupies the number 1 position, you technically, or not technically, you created a spillover. In Forsage, they call it an overflow. I like to use the traditional term because it resonates more, a spillover. What does it mean? It spills over or spills under you. It means that you here, you invited 1, 2, 3, and number 1 benefited from a spillover by having number 3 temporarily under number 1. Why I say temporarily? The cycle, every time you complete a cycle, the position can rearrange themselves because it's on a first come, first serve. If you invite 1 and 2, but 2 is the one that's active and completes the cycle before number 1, then number 2 on your next cycle would become number 1, and then number 1 might become number 2, and so on and so on. I love the nature of a matrix because it rearranges itself every time you complete a matrix and you go and a new one opens up for you. You know what's amazing also with a matrix? I only said if you invite 3. Now let's push the 4. Remember I said, what about if you invited 6 here? You saw 1, 2, 3, boom, 4, 5, 6, boom. Here, if you invite 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you would complete your own matrix with your own effort, but at the same time, you would create spillovers for 1 and 2. And now let me hypothetically say that let's say 3 and 5 got busy or started sharing Forsage before number 1. Let's say 3, saw the vision and already invited 2 people. Number 1 would receive donations from these 2 people without even 1 doing anything yet. And let's say number 5 did the same thing. Number 2 invited 2 people. Basically, number 1 would have an X4 completed with the efforts of number 3 and number 5, basically without doing anything yet. That's not a guarantee, but it happens many times. And number 1 would cycle and come back to join you again. We strongly advise you to share Forsage. There is no guarantee that you would complete or even receive if you don't share. It happens because Forsage is so great and there's so many great teams working, but there's no guarantee that if you do nothing that you will receive something. Keep that in mind. I said it. Now again, the reinvest feature is so strong. Bam, when you see this, the third one of the X3 brings you back, and the 6th one of the X4 brings you back. Now in the X4, I forgot to say, and the X3, remember I said 1, 2 goes to your wallet, while the 3 brings you back. And the X4, 1, 2 goes to the person directly before you, could be your sponsor or not. But 3, 4, 5, 6 should go to you, goes to you. 3, 4, 5 goes directly to your wallet, while 6 goes to bring you back. So it brings you back. It goes to your sponsor or someone else, depending where you are positioned in your sponsor new cycle or current cycle. Now, I want to talk about these construction signs. If you see this, you need to act upon it fast. Why? Because what does that mean? I'm gonna break it down to you. See level 8? That's the X3. The X3 is completed. That's the first completion of an X3. So every time you complete a level, or what they call a slot, for the first time, the system calculates that you have enough to go to the next level. So the system asks you to go to the next level before reopening the current level. So the number 8, so we see the example was at level 8. So let's look at level 8 over here. Level 8 in the X3 is 3.2 ETH or Ether. You will get 3.2 here, 3.2 here, and the last 3.2 is to bring you back. So it doesn't go to you, it's to bring you back. So basically you receive 6.4, which is exactly enough to open slot 9. Again, I like to call this level 9, but they call it slot 9. So every time you complete a cycle, let's say you were to start just at level 1 with 0.05, as soon as you complete the first 3 positions under your in your slot 1 or level 1 of the 0.025, automatically the system would see that you have enough to go to slot 2. So it would ask you to open slot 2 before reopening slot 1. And after you open slot 2, then slot 1 would reopen and open and open and open over and over again. So every time you complete the first cycle, the first completion of a level, the system will show you this construction sign, boom, this exclamation sign, and ask you to level up or go to the next level. So remember, the current level, or level 8, for example, will not reopen if you don't purchase level 9. And that's an example for all level. So when you complete level 1, you got to open level 2 to reopen level 1. When you complete level 2, you got to open level 3 to reopen level 2. And when you complete level 3, you got to open level 4 to reopen level 3, and so on and so on. Now, what is this Evo sign? It's an Evo sign. Why I said Evo? You lose in profit. And how would that happen? It would happen, let's say that's you here. And then you completed a cycle, and you got Johnny, David, and Mark. And then you complete a cycle, but you don't purchase number 9, and Mark decides to go to level 9 before you. You would lose profit because Mark would be assigned to your sponsor temporarily until you level up or go to level 9, and when Mark would complete his cycle at that time, then Mark would be repositioned under you. So if you see this, it's because somebody in your team upgraded before you and you didn't do it. Now, if you see that, it's the opposite. That means somebody that you invited has somebody that they invited who upgraded and was positioned with you before them. So same example here. Let's say Johnny, David, Mark, and then Johnny. Then you're on level 9, and Johnny doesn't go to level 9, but Johnny invited Stephanie, and Stephanie, who's on level 8, decides to go level 9 before Johnny. So you would get extra profit because Stephanie wasn't invited by you, was invited by Johnny, but Johnny didn't upgrade before Stephanie. So you would see this. It's a great thing. It's really mind-boggling. I love you would be happy when that happens to you. But I would tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you lose profit, you wouldn't be too happy. But don't be too sad. I mean, you just need to have enough to upgrade. And once you upgrade, the system rearranges everything. Now, overflows, overtaken returns, that's exactly what I just spoke about. Overflows is what I call spillover. Overtaken is when a person basically upgrades before you lose profit, and your sponsor gets extra profit. And returns is when basically you finally upgrade, and the person who had upgraded before you come back to join you. So this is the PDF. This is an example. If ETH or Ether was worth $250 US right now, and it's worth more at this moment, I tell you, then basically those numbers would help you understand how much you can receive in Forsage. Really mind-boggling. And here's another recommendation from Forsage. We recommend, it's the only recommendation. Now, before I speak about that, let me take another sip of water. We recommend to not only start at 0.05, but to start at 0.35 Ether. Why? Because that would enable you to open slots number 1, 2, and 3. I know the word slot is what they use, but I'm so used to levels. So level 1, 2, and 3, levels 1, 2, and 3, and of the X3, and levels 1, 2, and 3 of the X4. That would cost you 0.35 ETH. I would say make sure that you have in your wallet 0.40 or 0.4 Ether, just so you could cover small fees that comes with those transfers. Now, terms and definitions, they use different terms. Superior partner is the person whose referral link you have registered for. Referral partner is the person who registered with your link. So basically, that's your sponsor, and those are the people that you invite. Upgrade, reinvest, lost profit, extra profit. I spoke about all this, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the PDF. Mark, my brother, for your team on WhatsApp, make sure that you reshare over and over again the PDF, because we probably have some new people who haven't seen this PDF. So make sure you share this. Now, I'm back to the website, Forsage.io. Again, the first ever 100% decentralized international crowdfunding new generation platform. Zero risk factor, immutability, instant peer-to-peer, and transparency, anonymity, transactional security, and so on, based on a smart contract. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to reinvent the wheels. Over 10,000 plus people have joined Forsage. Now, I know, anytime there's an opportunity, there are copycats. I'm sure there's other people that's trying to do what Forsage is doing. One thing I want to tell you, they don't have the momentum. They don't have the integrity. They don't have what Forsage has. 746,000 participants, 10,000 plus participants in the last 24 hours. They don't have that. They don't have those giants, people who have received so much in Forsage, that we say that these people are who we should model ourselves after. Check it out. When we say just invited with 3 people, this person shared Forsage with 1,329 people. It's only right that they receive more than 1 million Ether in US dollar. It's only right, because it's more, I say share with 3 people. and they share with 1,329. Now, here's the thing. I bet that a lot of these people did not duplicate. But who cares? As long as 3 or more duplicated. When I say duplicate, that means shared, recruited, prospect, whatever you want to call it. And they were successful. What about this person? 469, 395, 422, 160, 149. This person shared it with only 56 people. This person only shared Forsage with 29 people. This person, 65. Now check this person with only 18 people and still received almost 200,000 US dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, don't tell me that 199 US dollars plus would not change your life, especially this year, especially with the so-called new normal. Nah, stop joking, stop playing with yourself, and don't be lying to us, don't be lying to nobody. Know that you just need to make a minimum of effort. 14 people, that's all it takes to get, like who's going to work with you, or 10 people, that's all it takes who's going to work with you to attain, to start receiving life-changing numbers. 10 people, it doesn't take much. Or like I said, you could go nuts, you could go buck wild and share it with hundreds, if not thousands of people. It only costs 0.05 ETH, Ether. Now, a message to my people in Africa, a message to Mark's team. You guys in Nigeria, how many people are you in Nigeria? Come on, like you guys, stop playing with yourself. Let's see, how many people are you in Nigeria? There's no excuses not to share Forsage. You are almost 200 million in Nigeria as of 2018, as per the World Bank. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa, share Forsage. And if you are, like for me, take for example, here's where I am. I'm in Canada. And check how small our population is, 37.59 million. You guys in Nigeria can swallow us how many times? What about America? Let's look at America, United States of America. Let's look at the population. American has 328.2 million people as of 2019. Go for places that has people. What about India? Like if you know any Indians, because there's a lot of Indians in Africa. If you know Indians, 1.353 billions now. Come on, man. Let's go for the most populated country on earth, China. China has 1.393 billion. And there's a lot of Chinese in Africa. So, and all over the world. Chinese are all over the world. I don't understand these people. They don't look like they have much sex, but they produce a lot of children. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Forsage is the way to go. I didn't want to make this webinar too long. I'm going to post it on YouTube. If you just joined us, again, welcome to 40 Days to Financial Freedom with Forsage, or you could call it 40 Days Out of Financial Bondage with Forsage. Actually, today I'm going to call it 40 Days Out of Financial Bondage with Forsage, because the last time I uploaded it, it was called 40 Days to Financial Freedom with Forsage. I'm going to change the title just so I could upload this video. There won't be no Q&A today, so we could keep this video short. If you have any questions and you want some answers, there are a lot of people that help you from different teams all over the world. And if you are working with Mark is just doing an excellent job on his WhatsApp group, motivating people every single day with posts, with inspirational quotes and everything. So make sure you reach out to Mark. If you know me personally, call me. I'll answer all your questions. And if you want to reach out to me, if you want to join my team, my link will be in the description. Just click the link. Make sure you have 0.06 Ether in your wallet so you could cover the small fees if you want to start with a small fee. But if I was you, ladies and gentlemen, I would start with way more than just 0.05. Allow me to say it. I'm going to say it. It's my video. It's this webinar. I'm uploading it. I think personally, you should start with at least 1, if not 2 Ether. I know some people who started with 10 Ether, just to let you know. So with that being said, Forsage.io, the greatest smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. If you haven't heard it, you heard it now, and you better tell somebody. That's basically what you're going to do. You better tell somebody, And in case you don't know what Ethereum is, just a last word, Ethereum.org will teach you a lot about Ethereum, blockchain, decentralization, everything. It's the future. It's 2020 and beyond. You know, it's not a new normal. It's the normal. Forget the new normal. Again, I'm going to say, just so I could end this video, you know, if it's new, it's not normal. If it's normal, it's not new. So new normal is an oxymoron. So don't be fooled. Live your life. Be careful still. Take care of your family and register in Forsage and start receiving Ether like you've never received before. And look forward for the link of this video being shared to you. With that being said, God bless you all.